a year or two ago in Ethiopia, sitting in over a hand-dug well and watching these children who were pulling water out of this filthy hole that basically the water looked like chocolate milk. We actually put a shot up on our website of a clean bottle of water next to one of these bottles of water to give people an idea of just how filthy the water was. And to see these kids who were collecting that water in containers so that they could take it to school, so that they'd have something to drink during school. And it was just deeply affecting to know that this is a water that was so dirty that it was guaranteed to, you know, talking to some of the villagers there, you know, they knew quite well the number of children who had died in that area from drinking this type of water. So they were aware of the dangers of drinking that water, but they just didn't have a choice. And to be standing there with these kids and watching these little kids, the age of my children, smiling and taking this water that could and would, in some cases, make them very sick or even kill them, was a very deeply disturbing moment. And Gary White actually said to me at that moment, he saw me and he said, "I know you just want to smack it out of their hands, don't you?" He said, "But you know, what's the alternative? It's then they're dead within a few days because they've got nothing to drink." And so, to know that you're there in a place like that and 20 feet under your feet is there's water right there. They just can't get to it. That was a very kind of that had a pretty big impact.
We're dealing with a cancer that's within, that we really need to figure out how to address this.
What's needed more than anything, in my view, is a clean, safe water supply.
We're used to people talking about wars being started over oil. We're going to, before long, be familiar with the concept of wars being started over water.
Not only just an issue of survival, but an issue of how we survive.
Well, the whole idea of Earth Day, which Gaylord conceived, was to create and stimulate the growth of a new conservation ethic, a new environmental ethic, a new sensitivity to the underlying problem.
I think the most valuable lesson that my father taught me, that I am so deeply grateful for, is this idea that an individual can make the difference.
Gaylord understood we have an obligation to not muck things up and to produce a natural environment that was better than the one we inherited.
He saw water as a critical environmental issue, both water quality and water quantity. And if he were around today, I have no doubt that he would tell you that it's one of the critical environmental challenges facing us.
It's being depleted, it's being wasted in ways that we can't ever get back. And that's getting more complicated with climate change. With the temperatures rising, that means water's evaporating faster. It means snow is melting faster. It means there's less runoff into the rivers and there's less water to store. There's not enough water for all we need.
When you take a look at the longer trend of things, you're going to have huge water shortages in fast-growing population areas. That's going to be a huge and growing issue.
Well, one of the big reasons I chose water and sanitation was one was the enormity of the problem, but the other was the availability of solutions, and to go and interface with the problem a little bit and see that there were these practical and easy to implement solutions. It made me feel like there was a real chance to bring attention to it and to actually have a pretty big impact.
We're looking for simple solutions to green our homes, and we found a big problem that's sending our good intentions down the drain. I'm talking about how much water we waste every day. A lot of that waste happens right here in the bathroom. There's a reason Europeans call them water closets. From our toilets to our tubs, roughly 60% of all the water we consume in the home is used right here. So here's what you can do to cut that consumption in a meaningful way. First, an easy way to get big savings in water and energy is to install something called a low-flow shower head, and it looks like this. It'll not only cut your water usage by up to 20,000 gallons per year, but it'll save you at least 10% on the cost of heating your water. Another great idea, low-flow toilets. They're required for most new construction and use only a third of the water older toilets use. And if you put one of these guys on your faucet, it's called an aerator, you'll cut down on water use because the aerator actually mixes air bubbles into the stream, so you get just as much pressure with a lot less water. But let's say you don't want to spend any money on new fixtures. Well, here are 7 ways you can use less water without spending a dime. Number 1, turn the water off while brushing your teeth. Number 2, fill your sink with a little hot water and turn the faucet off while shaving. Number 3, fill a milk jug with stones and place it in your toilet tank to displace water. Number 4, fix any toilet and faucet leaks immediately. Number 5, don't use your toilet as a trash can. Number 6, reduce the time you spend showering by 2 minutes. And finally, number 7, as you're waiting for your bath water to warm up to the right temperature, you could actually save it to irrigate your lawn and flower beds later. You know, about 30% of the water we consume is used outdoors. Watering lawns and gardens is the biggest part of that, but here's a significant water drain you can cut out altogether. I'm talking about the weekly car wash. The average professional car wash uses about 35 gallons of water for each car, but if you do it yourself at home, odds are you'll use a lot more. You see, most garden hoses spray about 10 gallons per minute, so you can easily use up to 140 gallons of water, and you'll be sending oil, detergent, and other pollutants down the storm drain. Well, how about this for a novel idea? Something called a waterless car wash that you can actually spray on and wipe off without even a rinse. Well, EcoTouch's waterless car wash, this one here, uses just a few ounces of water per wash. And Lucky Earth's waterless car wash uses absolutely no water at all and will get you anywhere between 7 and 10 washes per bottle. And there you go, clean and green. I'm Patty Kim from The Green Guide for Howdini.com.
When you try your best but you don't succeed, when you get what you want but not what you need, when you feel